Welcome to the Way to the Truth cast, where we do the news, but do it truthfully, the whole truth, nothing but the truth, so help us God. The reason we do this is because I realize that many of our viewers are watching Channel 1 or Spectrum or CNN or ABC, CBS, NBC, MSNBC, or some other. Even Fox has went woke these days, and are not getting the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. We saw this last night in a couple of instances. One was when the president said that that they are executing babies after they are born in some states. Executing was probably not the word they liked. They fact checked him on it and said no state has it's legal to execute a baby in. They put it after it's born. They put it on the table and they leave it there until it is dead. What I don't know what else you would call that, but they neglect the child unto death, which should still have the death penalty attached to it. Then the second one was that apparently there's a city in Ohio that has, I don't remember if it's 10,000 or 20,000 Haitian migrants in it, that they are eating their cats. The cat ladies need to be voting for Trump because they're coming after your cats, ladies. A lady had found her cat skinned in her tree, like you would a deer, preparing it to eat. And they have also taken all the ducks out of the city park and eaten them as well. And the journalist said that they had talked to the city manager and said that they couldn't verify any of this. Just because it's not verifiable doesn't mean it's not happening. There is testimony before the city council of several individuals testifying to what has happened to their pets. So they're coming after your cats, ladies. So now for the news. Latest, the copy and paste catastrophe. Killamilla, remember I call her Killamilla because she wants to kill your babies, and then she's a chameleon. Campaign policies came from Biden's old website. Vice President Killamilla Harris's campaign website published policy positions that appear to be plagiarized from President Joe Biden's campaign site. In other words, she just copied the whole thing and moved it over to her. The plagiarism was discovered in the metadata of Killamilla Harris's newly released issue page, including language urging voters to re-elect Biden. This revelation comes just 48 hours after the first presidential debate and 7 weeks after Harris entered the race. You remember they had the same problem at the DNC, the Democrat National Convention. Everything they gave the conventioners had Biden's name all over it. The New Republic, a left-wing publication, criticized Killamilla Harris's campaign for failing to distinguish herself from Biden and not presenting a new way for him. The incident highlights concerns about Killamilla Harris's ability to present herself as a change from the Biden administration, which many voters desire. Killamilla Harris faces pressure to create a favorable public impression at the upcoming debate after largely avoiding media interactions since entering the race. Killamillis campaign platform calls for some Supreme Court overhaul. Killamilla Harris has released her campaign platform, which provides proposals to reform the Supreme Court. Killamilla Harris supports stripping former president of immunity for crimes committed while in office. The platform calls for imposing ethics rules and term limits of Supreme Court justices. These proposals align with previous statements made by President Joe Biden. Critics argue these forms are not an attempt to turn justices into activists and serve democratic interests. These platforms efforts come in response to recent Supreme Court decisions that have impeded the left's agenda. Trump leads Killamilla as nearly half of voters say she's too progressive for White House. Half the country's crazy. A recent New York Times Siena College poll shows Donald Trump slightly ahead of Killamilla Harris among likely voters. 47% of voters think Killamilla Harris is too progressive, while only 32% view Trump as too conservative. Trump is seen as the change candidate by 61% of the voters compared to only 40% for Harris. The poll suggests Killamilla Harris's initial surge in popularity after replacing Biden may be waning. Critics argue that Killamilla Harris needs to prove that she has moved toward the center to attract more voters. Melania Trump suggests there's more to the Trump shooting than we're being told. Melania Trump released a 30-second video demanding answers about the assassination attempt of her husband, Donald Trump. She questioned why law enforcement didn't arrest the shooter before the incident at the campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania on July the 13th. Melania suggests there is more to this story and called for uncovering the truth. The video was posted ahead of Trump's first debate with Vice President Killamilla Harris in March, one of the few times Melania has addressed the assassination attempt publicly. Multiple agencies are still investigating how Trump's 20-year-old shooter evaded event security and the security services. Yeah, right. We already know that he had contact with the FBI prior to, and that he was receiving information. They're trying to point it toward Iran, but that's probably not the case. Most the deep state, the CIA, is probably behind the whole thing. House GOP to deploy Hill scoffers as poll watchers. The House of Representatives is launching an election observer program to enhance transparency in closely contested congressional races. The program trains congressional staffers to be volunteer poll watchers in districts other than their own. House Administration Committee Chair Brian Stein, the Republican from Wisconsin, is spearheading the initiative, emphasizing its importance for election integrity. The program has been used in previous election cycles, but Stein aims to increase awareness and participation this year. Some Democrats oppose uh, related GOP election security measures, viewing them as potential voter suppression tactics. Stein expresses frustration with the Biden administration's lack of transparency regarding a June executive order on voter access. The historic hotel in El Paso, overrun by a Venezuelan gang, the El Paso County Attorney's Office has filed for legal actions against the Gateway Hotel over alleged criminal activity. The hotel is suspected of being used as a base for the Venezuelan Trin Aragua gang. There have been 693 police calls to the hotel in the past 2 years, involved incidents of assault, drug use, and prostitution. Security footage reportedly shows illegal activity, including gunshots and weapons being brandished in the hotel. The hotel has been operating without a valid certificate of occupancy since 2018. This incident is part of a larger trend of Venezuelan gang activity spreading to various U.S. cities. The Beijing scrambles to win back North Korea's affection. Chinese leader Xi Jinping sent a congratulatory message to North Korean Jong Un on the country's founding anniversary. The message was described as relatively cold, potentially indicating strained relations between China and North Korea. North Korea has been moving closer to Russia, signing a mutual defense treaty with Moscow in July. Xi emphasized the need to strengthen communication and cooperation between China and North Korea. The shift in North Korea's allegiance comes after China participated in a trilateral summit uh, with South Korea and Japan in May. There are signs that Russia's growing influence in North Korea may be coming at China's expense. Russia and China are holding unprecedented joint naval drills in Ocean 24 war games. Russia has launched massive naval and air drills called Ocean 24, spanning multiple oceans and seas. The exercise involves over 400 warships, 120 aircraft, and 90,000 troops, making it the largest of its kind in 30 years. China is participating in the drill with their warships and planes joining Russian forces in the Pacific. Russia President Vladimir Putin emphasized the importance of military cooperation with friendly states and growing geographic tension. The drills aimed to train for repelling large scale aggression from ocean directions and defending naval bases, among other objectives. The NYC mother shot in the face while trying to stop robbery in high end building. Ying Jing or Zhu Lin Li, a 57-year-old home health aide, was fatally shot in the face in her Manhattan condo building. Two masked suspects followed Liu's husband into the elevator and attempted to rob him. Liu's son tried to intervene and was pistol whipped by one of the suspects. Liu came out with a stick to confront the robbers and was shot in front of her husband and son. The suspects stole the husband's cell phone before fleeing. They remain at large. Just paying his cell phone, geez. The incident occurred in a high-end condo building that also houses a preschool and commercial space. What's next? If you turned into last night's presidential debate, you might have noticed a couple of things. ABC anchor David Moore and Lindsay Davis refused to fact check Vice President Kamala Harris. Former President Donald Trump was once again asked to answer for J6, and the public was gaslit about American international and economic priorities. But perhaps the most grating thing about last night was Kilamilla's routine insistence that America move forward by not electing Trump. You see, Trump is bad. He encouraged J6 attendees to burn down the Capitol building. Said there were very fine people on both sides at the 2017 Unite the Right rally, and wants to force women and minorities into chattel slavery. In case it wasn't clear, none of this is true, but the only thing Killamilla and the Democrats in general can run on are lies and fear. The Biden Killamilla Harris administration has been a colossal failure by every objective measure. So Killamilla can't run on its successes. She has no actual beliefs, so she can't sell voters on her world view. The only thing Democrats can run on is a mischaracterization of Trump's record as they try to portray him as one of the great villains of American history. The Killamilla Harris waltz ticket will not improve the American experience in any way. Prices will rise, our adversaries will grow bolder, the illegal immigrants will continue to flow in and across the country. In what way does this bring us into the future? It doesn't. The Democrats have no vision, they have no solution. All they have is deceit in a flashy package. The Democrats are worried Killamilla Harris is too short to be president. And so here's a video of them stating their concerns on X.
Bluetooth pairing.
From the Daily Caller.
Bluetooth connected.
Jesse, tell folks who don't know where you're supporting and what's on your mind, please. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, ma'am. All yours.
Great. Well, I'm a Democrat from Boston, so going way over to the left. And I would also like to just narrow down a question for you, technically talented gentlemen, which is, I'm really worried about what Sean was talking about earlier of the physical difference in the size of Kamala and Trump at this debate, and they're going to be standing. I was trying to think back to the only time a woman has really put Trump in his place was Nancy Pelosi in the White House, and they were both sitting down. If you were advising Kamala, is there anything other than her high heels to do to try and offset? I do think the body language is going to be incredibly important.
Jesse, tell folks who don't know where you're supporting and what's on your mind, please. Thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. All yours.
Great. Well, I'm a Democrat.
Well, it's on loop. So I'm definitely not going to like that. But anyway, so with that, that concludes the news. The whole news, and nothing but the news, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help me God. And so that was the news. And so good night.